does an oopsie. H&R Block does an oopsie. Jackson Hewitt does an oopsies. So many freaking oopsies. I don't even know what to do with myself. This has never happened on AdvisorFi News, and that's because this is the second episode. I'm your host for today, Oopsie Doopsie, and you're watching AdvisorFi News. Welcome to AdvisorFi News, YouTube's most reliable news source on all things cloud accounting. Yes, that's right. We've actually won an award by no one in particular, but we definitely think that we are the premier, most reliable news source possibly in our office. So QuickBooks has done it again. They did another oopsie. That's right, oopsie doopsie. Here covering the news at QuickBooks and what they've done. They have recently announced some sort of beta test or new service offering to QuickBooks users that allows them to connect with a real live bookkeeper in real time to help them with their bookkeeping. Now, what is interesting is that social media has been blowing up about this particular service offering, not because they rolled out this service offering. I think it's more because of the pricing. And the only person totally getting caught in the crossfire is not QuickBooks or the critics about this new service offering, but it's poor Claudell. Claudell, the bookkeeper, 19 years of doing bookkeeping, is getting caught in the crossfire, and I feel sorry for her. Both sides are shooting cannonballs across the bow, and Claudell is absolutely stuck in the middle, being used as the rope in a tug-of-war battle between what is the role of a bookkeeper versus should we just commoditize this bookkeeping function of a business owner's life? You know, is this something that they can just get themselves into for $200 a month? Or should they engage a professional in a deeper, more important role so that way they get themselves the kind of service that they really deserve? So it's interesting to see the fallout, so much so that Xero, or Carrie Goman at Xero, doubled down on their commitment to bookkeepers, stating that the industry is at a crossroads. We are facing a clear choice. Do we believe that the role of a bookkeeper is simply to collect and process data, just like what, let's say, QuickBooks' service offering is indicating? Or do we believe that the role of a bookkeeper is to engage deeply and understand what makes each and every small business unique? At Xero, our choice is clear. Technology can only succeed when it improves human relationships. We believe people innovate and technology doesn't. So, unfortunately, QuickBooks did an oopsie doopsie, according to accountants, because accountants really believe that business owners really need to engage a professional to help them with their business life, and that this important aspect of business ownership isn't something that you can just throw a value on or think that all it is just answering some Q&As regarding bookkeeping transactions. A lot more here than what meets the eye. But you know, it's really interesting because QuickBooks is one of those companies that really try to cater accountants, but then they go along and they do something like this where they take an accountant's role or a bookkeeper's role and they try to slap a value on it, saying that, listen, this particular aspect or this particular individual that you should be working with is really only worth this, according to, you know, what we believe. And so really interesting to see QuickBooks' approach for providing a platform for bookkeepers to use and stay committed to, but then at the same time undercutting that same bookkeeper by trying to commoditize who they are as an individual and as a professional. Needless to say, QuickBooks has done an excellent job of getting themselves at the front of the conversation very quickly by rolling out this service offering. And if Claudell, you're watching this, I'm sorry you're stuck in the middle. Continue to do what you're doing. Keep that smile going, and we'll see you on the other side, hopefully, of this huge debacle that's going on with QuickBooks against pitting themselves, their platform, against bookkeepers. Next, oopsie. So Happy Tax, probably since the first time it's opened its doors in 2015, is not happy at all.
Turn that frown upside down. Okay.
Happy Tax sues H&R Block, alleging false advertising. So this is really interesting. The tax prep franchise Happy Tax recently filed a lawsuit against H&R Block in a federal district court in New York, accusing H&R Block that the tax prep chain of false advertising. So Happy Tax, very upset, not so happy, is suing H&R Block for making misleading claims by advertising that its upfront and transparent pricing is available only from H&R Block. So CEO of Happy Tax, Mario Costanz, said in a recent statement, he said, we filed this false advertising lawsuit to stop H&R Block from intentionally and inappropriately misleading customers. At Happy Tax, we pride ourselves on being innovators in the tax industry and have always used our upfront transparent pricing as a key differentiator. So Happy Tax is not happy that H&R Block kind of used the same terminology that Happy Tax recently did. So that way Happy Tax can kind of maintain a competitive advantage against H&R Block using the terminology. So Happy Tax throwing a lawsuit towards H&R Block's way is really interesting, how there really is this battle about tax prep and really trying to differentiate yourself amongst the competitors. According to the lawsuit, Happy Tax claims that it's entitled to monetary damages and injunctive relief under a federal law known as the Lanham Act. Obviously glorious about our nation being innocent until proven guilty, H&R Block is rejecting Happy Tax's contention, stating that we believe the claims are without merit and do not further comment on this pending litigation, said a spokesperson at H&R Block. Wow, Happy Tax, go get them, huh? I think, quite honestly, Happy Tax is fighting a massive company, and I don't know if Happy Tax actually has the wherewithal to take a legal challenge up against a big player like H&R Blocks. But we'll see what this does, okay? Cheer up, Happy Tax. Turn that frown upside down. And try not to get too upset about this kind of stuff, because I think there's going to be a lot of very similar activity going on if you keep this up. Next, oopsie. Here we go. Another misleading ad news break. Jackson Hewitt to pay some $187,000 for misleading ads. So the tax prep franchise Jackson Hewitt Tax Service will pay more than $187,000 to resolve allegations that it violated Massachusetts consumer protection laws with, quote, misleading and deceptive advertisements, according to the Massachusetts Attorney General, Maura Healey. So this is really, really interesting. A lot of these tax prep firms apparently are rolling out a lot of misleading ads, and it really is a dangerous thing to get yourself into. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking of QuickBooks backing you campaigns where, Danny DeVito is saying how easy it is.
Send an invoice with QuickBooks
to do your bookkeeping, and then the little disclosure at the bottom, stating that, these processes are actually a lot longer than what's really displayed on this advertising. I wonder if that's kind of misleading, because bookkeeping is not that straightforward. And you can get yourself into a position where the people who are watching your content think that all they need to do is one or two things, and they get themselves into this huge heartache because they believed your advertisement. But basically, Hewitt agreed to provide more than $93,000 in refunds to Massachusetts residents who purchased tax prep services from locations in that state, and agreed to pay a payment of more than $93,000 to the state itself. Big oopsie by Jackson Hewitt, and it cost them about $200,000 to do that. So obviously Jackson Hewitt has learned their lesson. They said, quote, our goal has and will always be to communicate transparently with clients and provide them with the best service possible. Signing the assurance of discontinuance allows us to focus on meeting our clients' needs this tax season. So here we go. Battle of the false advertisements. Who is going to win this battle of teetering the line between disclosing whether or not things are easier than they really appear and consumers buying into that advertising? Well, that's it. Thank you guys for watching AdvisorFi News. I was your host, Oopsie Doopsie. Be sure to click in the description below where you can read and catch up on all the articles and lawsuits and misleading advertising that's going on out there. Don't forget to subscribe so that way you can stay tuned to all our unfiltered, unbiased, always real news source. Oopsie doopsie. Signing off for now. Till next time.